All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody that's virtual and everyone that's in the room. Really happy to have you here. You all will be joining our class of 2028. So at this point, you all should have gotten your offer letters and all the good stuff. And I'll introduce myself. Second. Oh yeah, this is our last class. So get ready. If you SIR, you'll be taking the class photo, our iconic class photos. We like to have them. I don't know if you walk through the hallways, you see them that we like to showcase you all. Also in the student lounge. So get ready, get excited. All right, I think. Oh, okay. So different order. So first we're going to start off with welcomes, and then we're going to introduce ourselves. Then we're also going to talk about like what you can expect next. We're going to have a bit of an academic overview. So we're going to talk about some of the classes, what you can expect for the first semester here, the second semester, and also your second year in the program. And we'll talk a little bit about the IRP. A lot of folks have questions about IRP. Some folks think that it's a track. It's not actually a track. We like to think of it as an overlay or the cousin of the tracks. But we'll dive in about that. We'll talk about electives and other classes that you can take apart from the degree required courses. And then we'll also talk about cost of attendance and a bit about funding. Just please keep in mind, that's gonna be truncated. It's very brief and short. We'll have a whole separate presentation about it. So I know there's a lot of questions that tend to be a hot button issue or a question and concern. So we have answers and we have ways that you can help fund your education. And then also upcoming events. So other presentations and workshops like this, what to expect. And then we'll have a cute little UC Berkeley trivia. How much do you know about Berkeley? So I'll introduce myself. My name is Blaine Jones, Senior Director of Academic and Student Affairs. I've been here at the J School for about 5 years now. And but I've been on campus for 15 years. I just found out in February. So it's a little weird. I'm also an alum of UC Berkeley. I was actually studying political economics. And so I don't know how I fell into education, but I'm loving it. I work as a higher education practitioner and did my grad at University of San Francisco. So yeah, Cal Bear alum. And then I'll kick it over to my colleague over here.
Hi, everybody. My name is Michael. I didn't go to UC Berkeley, but in my role, I support students as the director of student services, but I'm also the graduate student affairs officer. The summary of what that means is that there's just a lot of policies at UC Berkeley, and our hope is that you never have to interpret it by yourself. My role is supporting students to understand those policies so y'all can get the degree and make sure that you're in compliance with what the school is requesting from graduate students. I also help out students in terms of connecting them to different resources on campus. Oftentimes we tell students to come to us first before reaching out to a department or another resource on campus, because you might just get a very general sort of email address or some sort of outreach thing, and we know people in different departments, so we can link you up a little bit faster, and hopefully that will help. Education-wise, I did my undergrad at the University of San Francisco, then I got a graduate degree from Lewis and Clark College in Portland. And then I worked at Lewis and Clark, and then I also worked at the University of Washington for a while, and then I've been on campus for 3 years. I used to work for another.
And I'm curious, is Betsy in the room or in the house? I know she said she wanted to pop in.
Yeah, she's not here right now, so.
All right, I'll introduce her. So Betsy is also another key member of our team. You probably have heard about her. She's the Director of Career Development and Engagement. And so she'll be the one to kind of help steward and support you through the internship requirement. So all students are required to do 300 hours of an internship in a newsroom to get professional experience, part of the pedagogy and the curriculum here at this program. She's also the main liaison for all of our newsroom and our partners. And also she does a series of workshops and extracurricular, programming just to kind of get you acclimated with like resume building. She also teaches a class, which is Kickstart Your Career. Kickstart Your Career. So that's something to look forward to. It's not mandated, but it's definitely highly encouraged. And she kind of truncates all of her workshops into that particular class. So you're welcome to enroll, and you can get credits, but you don't necessarily have to enroll if you don't want to. And then we also have Jeremy Sanchez. He's the associate dean. I don't think he's here today either, but he's also an alum of UC Berkeley, but also particularly this program, been with the university or the J School for a long, long time. Student to lecturer to now faculty and now the associate dean of academics. So he likes to usually come to these workshops and tell you a bit about his journey. And he's also a great resource and has amazing institutional knowledge about the school. And then there's also Nellie. You all should know who she is at this point. Do you want to introduce her just briefly? They already know.
Director of admissions here. I think I've probably connected with all of you at some point. So it's nice to see your faces. Nice to see some of you again. Some I think came and visited in the fall. So it's kind of nice to see you now admitted. And and just looking forward to this journey with you all. So yeah, and I'm here for any questions after this session, obviously, or if you want to connect with me, my office is open.
All right. So we're gonna dive right in. So you're now admitted. What can you expect? So the goal here is to help you make the most informed decision for pursuing your graduate degree. And there is a new admit website. So if you've not checked it out, please check it out. It is password protected. I forget the password, but it should be in your emails. I think it's like Go Bears 2028. Yeah. So feel free to check it out. And it has a lot more robust information there. It actually has all the details about this workshop as well. So check it out. And there's going to be the Welcome Week, which is April 7th to the 10th. Be sure to check that out. And it's just an opportunity to connect with other students, faculty, staff, and then also have more face time with us, the team. And then also just to note some important deadlines, and that's going to be May 15th. So that's April 15th. So April 15th in order to SIR. So that's your statement of intent to register. So that's going to be your commitment that you're guaranteed to come here. You're going to be joining us. You're going to be a part of the community. You're going to be locked in. And then April 15th is if you've received departmental funding from us, be sure to go ahead and sign the document confirming your departmental funding.
April 1st.
That's April 1st. Oh, yeah, this needs to be up to you. No worries, no worries.
Yeah.
But April 1st. And if you do have questions about those deadlines or you're having certain concerns, check with us. Just let us know. As long as you're keeping us informed, we'll be able to kind of be a little bit flexible with those deadlines. So we're going to talk about, right now my screen's slightly blocked, but that's okay. So we're going to talk about the actual overview of the program, which you can expect. There's about 36 units in order to complete this entirety of this program. As you'd imagine, in an undergrad, it's a little bit different. I think it's 130 units, but it's only 2 years, so you have 36 to complete. 24 of those units have to be here at the J School, so they have to be J School classes, meaning that you can also take classes elsewhere. You know, you're at a large institution, you have the wealth of UC Berkeley and all the different departments. We want you to explore that. Check them out. A lot of students take the opportunity to take classes like in the business school or public health, and you're more than welcome to do so. And especially if you have a specific beat, it's encouraged that you take classes in other departments to kind of help get you more informed about your specific beat or designation, like criminal justice or law, or even like, Asian studies. We have an Asian studies concurrent degree.
For that outside classes, just something to note is that you can take graduate courses. You would just need either the permission of the instructor or the course needs to be shown as something that's an open course. If you can't tell that by just looking at the schedule or anything like that, you can reach out to me because I can reach out to my counterpart in the department to see if there is an exception that's available or if there's like a hidden thing that you would need to do, like an application or something like that, just so that you can take another course to help out in terms of the work that you're doing here. So another reason why you should come and talk to us about things.
Yeah, sure. There are about 5 platforms or tracks. You'll hear those words used,
Yep.
Yep. And so it's going to be audio, for the folks who are the audio students, the documentary, climate video. There's multimedia or web video. There's narrative writing and photojournalism. And then there's different specializations that you can go into. So that can be investigative reporting, like we had mentioned previously, data journalism, there's business journalism, and the cool thing about the business journalism specialization is that there's a certificate associated with it. It's fairly new. I think it's in its 2nd year. And it's also taught by one of the classes, the capstone class is taught by Matt Winkler, who is actually one of the CEOs and founders of Bloomberg Business Journalism. So that's a cool advantage you can take an opportunity of. There's also Climate Lab, and that's actually run by our one of the documentary professors, which is Jason Spindler-Koff, who comes to us from Netflix. I had mentioned also about the 300 hours of a summer internship requirement. So there's that to look forward to. Students usually will fulfill that during the summer in between their first year and their second year. And so if you can't get it done, we recognize that sometimes newsrooms, their deadlines they're not in sync with our academic calendar. As long as you can get that internship done by the time you graduate, it should be okay. But most students will complete it during the summer. And so we'll be working with you. A lot of the legacy newsrooms, they start having applications around the fall, and they kind of sweep all the way up until summertime. And so Betsy, she'll be working with you. She's usually posting those deadlines. She's working with helping you kind of communicate with those newsrooms. So more to come.
And Betsy will have a session where she talks more in depth about this. So if you all are kind of curious or leave this session having more questions about the summer internship and like how we support you, that's Betsy's terrain. So please join that webinar next week. And I'll be sending you all an email reminder about that event. But yeah, that would be a great way to get those questions answered. Yeah,
absolutely. And then what it all culminates to, your capstone project, your master's project. And so that is usually the way that you compose it. It's going to be directly connected to the particular platform that you're going to be choosing or your track. And so all the track and the sequence is there to prepare you to complete that project. And so you can actually check out, we'll have more information about what that might look like. But yeah, that'll be your last thing that you have to deliver to us before you graduate. There we go. Hey, hold on. What is going on? How do I go back? Oh. Did I do something? Oh no, forgive me. Oh, here we go. Share. All right, we're back on track. So what your first semester might look like. So you all are eagerly like awaiting what that might look like. And you have your J200. So that's going to be your introduction to reporting seminar. So all students have to take this class. It's going to teach you the fundamentals and the things that you need to know in terms of before moving into the rest of your classes. It's going to be very writing heavy. So a lot of the visual students or the ones that might be going into documentary or photojournalism, get ready to expect that. And then it's also an opportunity to actually have some of your work really a real world opportunity to get your stories published with local media outlets. So that is a class that you will all be designated into. There's about 5 or 4 different sections. And so you don't get to choose your section, but you get to put your preference, and we'll try to align you with the particular different J200 sections. There's also 207, which is research methods. That just teaches you like how to do data mining, working with spreadsheets, data analysis, filing public records, et cetera, et cetera. So you do have the 207. It's only 7 weeks. So it's going to be the first half of the semester. In the second half of the semester, in that same timing block, you'll continue on into media ethics. So that's 255. And yeah, so that's something to look forward to as well. And there's also the series of your intro classes. So this is again, this is going to be the composition of your first semester's schedule. And so those are core degree requirements. But then that last class right there, one additional class is going to be an elective, kind of, but it's going to be more focused on your specialization. So intro to narrative writing, photojournalism, multimedia, audio, documentary. So I think and I want to make a note. So for documentary students, which is the program that you have to be actually applied into, and it's a very competitive program. I think we only have about 10 to 12 students. So you are going to be required to take that particular class. But for everybody else, again, you can determine if that's going to be your particular destination or specialization. Here we go. Second semester of your first year, you're going to be taking media law. And again, that's another 7-week course sequence or class, rather. And that's going to be the second half of the semester. And then you have your track courses. So in your first semester, you're going to take the intro course, and then you're going to take the next portion of that course in your second semester. And so that might look like intermediate to advanced audio, interactive narratives, that's for the narrative folks, or I'm sorry, multimedia folks, video reporting and storytelling, that's for the documentary and video students, and the intro to narrative, which is going to be features or profiles. And so that's going to be for the narrative students. And then you have For photojournalism students, I believe you take J213. Yeah, 213. And then you can also have now the freedom to start taking some additional courses and electives. It may not necessarily be associated with a particular track, but it does teach you like the different versions of reporting. So it's gonna be race and journalism, investigative reporting. For the folks who are interested in IRP or investigative reporting, that's the class you're gonna wanna take. There's also data journalism. Oftentimes, a lot of the students who are multimedia, they often will take that, but other tracks can take it as well. Race, resistance, and incarceration for folks who are more into criminal justice reform and things of what have you. And then there's a number of other, courses you can take. All right, and your third and fourth semester. So this is going to be your second year. And so you'll continue on with some of those sequences of the courses in your third semester. But then also you can take additional electives. And then there's also going to be, there's going to be just a continuation of those sequence courses for your particular track. So feel free to check out our course schedule. Oh, and then I'll just make a note. You're in your fourth semester, in your final semester, you will be taking your capstone. So that class is going to be helpful. It's going to help you have concentrated help and support for working on your thesis project.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say just about, I think this is a lot of information.
Yes.
And I'm sure that y'all have gone on the website and gone to the info sessions with Nellie. But please just know your first semester during the summer, we're communicating with you what classes to take. And there are specific classes that are only for first year. So it wouldn't be like you're, registering for a class, and because of the timing and the days that Berkeley gives to students, it will be different from person to person. Sometimes it's the same, but it's not. But you won't be in competition for mandatory classes your first semester. The other thing I just want to note, speaking of the first semester, one of the question that we get a lot in the summer is, what is the maximum amount of units that I can take my first semester? And I think that speaks to the excitement, the want to maximize your time here, and the fact that folks are passionate about what they're sacrificing to be part of this program. I would also just say that first semester is designed because in your J200 class, you're physically going out to do reporting. So, maybe it's not so much, can you balance all this work, but do you have time to go to like board meetings, to go to do your reporting, like interview people? And we're trying to maximize what you need to have that first semester in terms of the skills, but then also just the ability to travel, like to go places and figure out Berkeley. And then not to mention too, folks are coming from a different city, a different state, different countries. So it's a lot of movement that's happening. And because of that, we want to support you all by thinking through what even that first year, what it could look like. So, I think maybe right now, I don't want to say what everyone's not capable or capable of, but maybe you're absorbing this and it's like real easy, but I'm thinking of the future you in July and August, and things are getting real, and you're moving and you're figuring things out. You're linking up your direct deposit online because that's always an issue. All these things are just happening all at once, but just know that the underlying part of this is that our team is here to support you. And we're here because there is a program that's designed for you that has flexibility. You'll notice in your third and fourth semester, your last semesters, it's a lot of future and adventure status, but we are here to help with the guidance of, what is the best choice, and then it'll be totally up to you. Y'all are in graduate school and you earn the right to be here, so you can make those choices for yourself.
For sure. If you do have questions, well, actually, we'll have time for questions at the end, but please reserve your questions. And then if folks prefer online, just drop them in the chat. And Nellie's probably also answering them right now. So the investigative reporting program. So these are the members and the team, and they reside across the street. I don't know if you had an opportunity to visit the IRP, but you might during the tour later today. So get excited. And just to kind of tell you a little bit about it, so the IRP serves as a nonprofit newsroom and working on cutting edge stories, exposing injustice, abuse of power, and holding folks and organizations and institutions accountable. Students are paid to work on stories that can range from semester to the entire time at the J School. And many of these stories end up in Frontline News and New York Times or the Washington Post. And oftentimes we get students they say that they're interested in the IRP track. And so again, I had mentioned at the beginning that it's not a track. We like to think of it as like the cousin of the other tracks, like I mentioned before. And there are a few ways in which you can engage with IRP, and that's through paid student reporter internships and positions. And those usually happen in the fall and the spring. And you could take the best classes, and I believe there's 3 classes that they offer. And so yeah, feel free to check them out. Yeah, so before we move on to there, are there any questions? I'll take some, because we're gonna move into costs of attendance and funding.
Do you want me to, there's a question,
Yeah, please.
but it's not really it keeps
It's
going,
different?
yeah.
Okay, then we'll-
It's about tracks, so, yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah, okay. So they're essentially asking about being admitted to a certain track
Mhm.
and like how that works. So I know Student Services sends out like an intake form, so maybe you can just speak to that and how the track. So again, if aside from being admitted to the doc track,
Mhm.
doc program, kind of for anyone else when they've applied at that first choice, backup choice, kind of explaining coming into the program, kind of how that would be designated.
Yeah, so that's exactly right. Thank you for asking that question. We have a intake survey that we take or that we send out during the summer period. And so that's right before you attend orientation. And so that's it's gonna ask a whole bunch of questions about just getting you acclimated and oriented. And a lot of it is focused around classes and your interest in certain classes. And so that's where you'll also designate your interest in the particular track that you want to pursue. And so you are going to be required to take those intro classes and that's a way for us to prepare. We want to make sure we have enough space and seats for you all to enroll in those courses. But if you are interested in switching, there's very little flexibility. So when you apply to the program, you can indicate your first and your secondary. You can do that. We're encouraging you to stick with your primary, but you can, if there's space and it permits, you're able to take your secondary track. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, and you're allowed to take classes across the tracks. Outside of the doc is a little more structured. But so, just as an example, Haiti, she's taking classes. She came in, was narrative writing, but is in a lot of audio and photo courses. So just to reference that, just because you're in a track, that doesn't mean that you're like beholden to that track only, right, and only taking those courses. So just to clarify that it is meant to be somewhat like customizable in the sense that you can take topical area courses, right? So yeah, just Michael, did you have a note to add to that, just to clarify? Because I get that question so often. It can be confusing.
It can be confusing, and I think to add another cool layer of confusion as well. So some classes, so I support the faculty in scheduling. And next semester, fall semester, your first semester here, if you decide to join us, there's 2 intro to audio classes. One is specifically for students who've indicated that they want to get into audio. And then the other one is for everyone else. So it's a double-edged sword because you might have the opportunity to go, if you're not choosing audio as your main track and you just like, oh, I want to still learn from folks. You can take that second class, but it's also, you are in competition with other J School students. Because it's open to all students, we also might have second years who are applying as well. But because you're first year students, you'll have a registration date that's sooner than them. So just something to note. I have to take that back actually.
Yeah.
They're gonna, yours is in July.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Yours
is in July.
Yes.
So if you do happen to, if there is still some free space in like that second, everyone can take it intro to audio class, then you can take that as if you were, say, a multimedia student and wanted to experience what an intro to audio class is. That being said, we also offer some of those classes, like the intro to photojournalism class is offered almost every semester. So it is about being strategic about when you want to take those courses, but then also having an idea of what your focus is, what it should be, and maybe even trying to narrow that if you're thinking multiple focuses or thinking of different types of tracks that you might want to experience while you're here.
Yeah, that's right. Let's take a question on virtually. Austin.
Hi, I think that kind of answered my question. More specifically, in that first semester, if there's 2 intro classes we're interested in taking, is it advised to enroll in both in the first semester, or maybe your primary track first semester, and that was a good example because photojournalism is my secondary interest track, like maybe take that the second semester, or take them both in the first semester, and then attached to that is when do we have to like decide by? Because I know, and then is it understood that the track that we pick, that is the biggest impact that has is on our capstone project. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, so the latter, what you had mentioned. So it is encouraged, definitely do your primary. What you indicated in that survey, sign up for that course at your intro. Now, if you are entertaining other tracks and you're not certain, I would encourage you to sign up for both. But if you already know what yours is, but I do want to get some experience in photojournalism, I would take that another semester. Like, because also another thing to note is that you want to get used to the Berkeley-based classes. Berkeley likes to be competitive and prestigious and all those things if you're coming from a different institution. So having a manageable course schedule is going to be important. And then, and then also I want to mention the 14.5 unit limit per semester. So if you do want to go over that limit, you do have to petition to the head graduate advisor at the school. Sorry, the skirt of the table. Okay.
And just, so J200 is not the only class you're going to do reporting in the first semester. If you're taking multiple intro classes, that might be an issue because you might have to be going out multiple times. So this is why like 14.5 is definitely the limit. You can seek out an exception, but it's guaranteed it's going to be denied as a first semester student. But I think you got to give yourself some grace the first semester, because after that it's kind of do what you want. It's just try to acclimate, try to transition as much as possible, not just to the school, but to Berkeley, to being a graduate student on top of any other things that as identity.
Got it. Thank you so much.
I have a quick question. Jamie has just asking about the race resistance and incarceration class. Is that always available during the second semester? So like next spring, would that be, is that?
That we would have to get clarity from the faculty.
Okay, so TBD.
TBD.
Okay.
Maybe. Joanna?
Yeah, yesterday on the IRP info session with David Barstow, one of the things he said was that students sometimes come in and want to take all the classes and all the things are so interesting. And that's exactly how I feel. And then hearing all of you talk about being aware of the time constraints and how much demand each class has, I'm just wondering, do we get to sit down one-on-one with some kind of scheduling advisor to clarify focus and kind of map out each semester?
Yeah, so you have, and then we'll talk about like your resources or people that you can go to. So Michael's definitely going to be one of the individuals. He's going to be your primary academic advisor. But you have a faculty academic advisor that's going to be assigned. And so that's going to be a member of the faculty member. I'm sorry, the faculty. And you can use them also as a resource to kind of just have that conversation. And oftentimes, what you're interested in is going to be, obviously connected to your career. So I think they're going to be more of the subject matter expert. So think of them as that on that level. We're more administrative in nature, and we'll just be transparent. Yeah. None of us are journalists up here.
Yeah. So, and I think like my role is I know the back end of, like scheduling and things like that. If you ask me like, hey, can you help me complete this puzzle? Like, what should I be taking this semester, this semester, this semester? I can give you information about like, oh, this class is offered in the spring, so maybe push this out, concentrate on this. If it becomes more around the content, then I'm not going to shy away and be like, hey, I don't know what that means. If you're wanting to focus on a multimedia discipline with audio and you want to, like things like that, and you start like citing reporters or stuff like that, I won't know, and I'll tell you that. I'll say, oh, this is something your academic advisor, that's a faculty member, should talk to you about. Because if this is more career oriented, then I'd say, hey, Betsy is actually someone. If it's more of like, oh, well, I want to know, like, is this going to help me with my reporting in the future? And I can also introduce you to someone that you might not have met yet at the J School as a faculty member, and say like, oh, this is Joanne. She wants to know more about these things. Can we, can you set up a coffee or something with them? And then you can come back to me, and then we can figure out your schedule.
When are we assigned the faculty advisor, and will we be meeting with them before scheduling our classes, or no?
You're more than welcome to reach out to them. So you'll get probably that around orientation. But at the point of scheduling your classes, you probably will not have access to them. So, but just something to note is that your first semester schedule is already going to be pretty much preset.
Right. That first semester, you don't really have much wiggle room.
Yeah. And they're also encouraged to reach out to you within your first semester. So that you all can cultivate that relationship. It can be organic, more structured, more rigid, but sometimes they have a lot of other students. I would encourage you definitely to email them. And once you get their information. Yes.
You can, I won't speak for like the team email, but you can email me if your faculty member is not responsive or is not trying to meet with you. Then we can clarify their role as well.
All right.
All right. What's the ratio between faculty members and their assigned students?
Well, just think about it. There's about 60 of you all within this cohort, and there's also 60 on the next cohort. And so oftentimes they'll get maybe like 4 to 5 students. And so that's in between this cohort and the other cohort. So yeah. And then sometimes they're still talking to alums who just like love the J school and they don't want to go away. And that's okay. Something to note, I think Betsy's going to be dropping in momentarily.
Oh, yeah. She's not, I'll let you know.
Yeah. So you were going to stop briefly and then I'm going to let her introduce herself. She just wants to say hi. Something to note again is that Betsy is 100% remote. So she used to be here physically at the J school. She also was a lecturer at J school. So she is a journalist. Started as a lecturer and then moved into part of the J school or the student services team. And so we like to say that she's the secret weapon of the student services team. She helps keep us in alignment with journalism.
I have one more quick question.
Yeah.
When can they expect the fall course list?
I think March 22nd.
Well, yes, but yes, and the faculty were deliberating about specific classes, so it's not going to be there by March 22nd. But again, that should not be. Hopefully, that doesn't bring you worry, and maybe you're just curious about what's being offered, which is great. Just because that first semester, your classes are going to be set. You're not applying against anyone else in terms of registration.
Yeah.
But as soon as possible, and I'll also alert Ellie so that you all can take a look when we finalize the classes with either new course descriptions or course descriptions that were so good, we're using them again.
Yeah. And keep in mind your registration's late. So if you're an undergraduate student here, you're probably expecting, oh, my course registration is going to be open really soon. It's not. As an incoming graduate student, July is when you would, so you have a lot of time between looking at that fall course list. Like, yeah, there's plenty of time there to kind of, think and decide maybe what makes the most sense for specifically really thinking about the second semester less than the first semester. Because again, there's really only that one course that will be, especially like open, and that's generally an intro to whatever track platform you're choosing as they've shared. So
yeah, and I think something that I learned over this past summer is that we should have office hours or just like a registration how-to situation in the summer to help you all out. Folks are coming to the program through different means or just from different places. So to help level set, I'm happy to run something in the summer set and record it so that you all can take a look and like, oh, this is how Berkeley does their registration.
About the concentration, can we mix then between like the RE, RB, and the data, or we have just to focus on one?
the IRP and the data, so investigative and data are just topical areas or kind of anomalies as they mentioned. So you're able to take that. I mean, the IRP, you don't really have an opportunity to really get involved or to take a class, let's say, in the IRP until that second semester in your first year. That's the IRP, the investigative reporting seminar is that first kind of opportunity. So, and data, again, the second semester is really going to be the more of that opportunity for you to start taking topical courses as well as other specialization courses within your track or tracks of interest, let's say. So so really that second semester is gonna, but you can take a data course, you could take an investigative course, you could be multimedia, non-multimedia, because obviously multimedia and data, a lot of multimedia students take data, but it's medium agnostic, investigative, anyone, you could be an audio, taking investigative. So it is meant to be, it's not exclusive. Or exclusionary, let's say.
The way I've been thinking about it, it's like not the main course, like on your plate. It's just like on the side, and it adds to the whole plate. Top Chef started again. I just joked about it. But like, just think of it, it adds to your multimedia track, your audio track, or whatever. That's your
All right. and it looks like, and we'll pivot. Here is Betsy. So you want to just briefly introduce yourself? I already talked a little bit about you, but feel free to say whatever.
Hi. Sorry, I'm all like flustered and out of breath. I just came running in from a doctor's appointment for my daughter, but very happy to meet you all and welcome you to Berkeley Journalism. We're really excited to share this journey with you. So yeah, just a little bit about myself. I guess I've been at Berkeley Journalism for, gosh, about 6 years now, working in this capacity. Before that, I was a video journalism lecturer, and I taught at Berkeley Journalism. Gosh, I think I made a teaching for maybe about 3 years. Before that, I was a journalist myself, working in video, magazine journalism, worked for a variety of networks and commercial television and nonprofit television and digital startups and everything in between. Public television kind of came to be my sweet spot where I could like do really nerdy stories that no one else would do, and that was a lot of fun and gratifying. I also attended a graduate program in journalism. I went to Columbia, and I also worked at Columbia as a video storytelling adjunct professor. So anyway, I bring all of this. I aim to bring to all of this my experience as a working journalist, as a professor of journalism, and this experience that I have now as a career development director. And my goal is to help you feel like you've got the support and the training you need to complete our program and transition into the working world and feel, ready to leave your mark on it. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Happy to answer any questions, but I think that I'll have a presentation focused on what I do as career development director next week, I believe. Is that right, Nellie?
Yep. Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Or
Yeah.
if not next week, the week following. Yeah.
Okay, soon.
All right, TBD. Well, thank you,
TBD.
Betsy.
Very soon, very
Where do
soon.
you hail from? Where are you right now?
Where am I right now? I am in Redondo Beach. I am in the Berkeley Journalism LA office.
Formal and informal.
So I'm actually based in LA, but I come to campus regularly, and I was just there all last week for our annual career fair, lovingly known as Media Mayhem. So I'm gonna guess that you guys have talked about that a little bit already, but it was epic and super fun. Oh, hey, Gabrielle in Long Beach, hello. Yeah, so anyone down here, yeah, get in touch. We can meet for coffee.
Thank you, Betsy.
Yeah.
All right, so it looks like we have, I want to be mindful of time, about 20 more minutes. I think I can rush through the last part a little bit, but here we go. We're going to talk about the cost of attendance, so the money stuff. So at this point in time, those of you who have received funding offers from the department, you should have already received those notices again. What is it? April 15th, April 1st. April 1st is the date in which you have to commit and accept those offers. But if you are having difficulties with that deadline or that time, just again, notify us. Betsy will be your, I'm sorry, not Betsy, Nellie will be your primary. So email the journalism admissions email. So to talk a little bit, wait, it's not showing. Wait a minute. So here. All right, we'll do it from this. Hopefully that works. It is not agreeing with me today. I can see it here. Let me try refreshing it.
Yeah, we should also, I forgot to say that it would be great to kind of know where people are coming from.
Yeah.
So maybe we can do that really quick. I just am very curious, and people are also talking in the chat, and these are your potential future classmates. So maybe you can briefly just say like your name and then like where you're coming from today, very briefly.
Well, let's do it before the trivia.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, is there, okay.
Yeah, the
Okay,
trivia.
is that coming up? Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll do that later, because I see people in the chat also asking where people are coming from, so it would be great to just see that diversity
Yeah.
in here. Yeah, great.
All right, so let's get to the money stuff. And so about tuition and fees. So this is what a typical semester will cost to be a Berkeley journalism student. You can find this on the website, at the registrar's website. If you go to, or if you just type in registrar, UC Berkeley, fees, you'll find like a list of all the professional schools and all the different departments for graduate programs. And so this is where ours resides. These are the fees for last year. So it does usually go up by maybe a few thousand or so, a certain percentage, usually like 2 to 3%. So expect that number to change just slightly. So for a resident, and that a resident is someone who's considered in the state of California, from California, or have residency in California, that's going to be the cost of attendance. Usually that goes down. Well, for a new student like yourselves coming into the program, you'll be assessed the new student and document management fee. So that usually goes down by your second semester. For a non-resident, that's someone who is someone out of California. You're out of state, say you're from like, I don't know, Ohio. That is going to be the fee that you're going to pay. And that's going to be for your entire first year. And then, but you have an opportunity to get residency. And so then it'll go down to the resident fee. And so there's a whole process. We'll talk about the deadlines of the dates, but we'll share that with you. So we'll walk you through this process. So if you haven't looked at the cost of attendance for the program, I definitely highly encourage you to do so. We want to be transparent about what it costs. You know, investing in your education and in a grad program is costly. And so there are ways to kind of work through that. And there are other ways to kind of finance your career, your education. And then also for international students, you are going to be assessed a non-resident fee, and there isn't an opportunity for international students to get residency, unfortunately. All right, cost of attendance. So things to kind of calculate. So that's just the tuition fees, but then also you have to recognize your living costs. And so these are just standard estimates and budget or standard estimates of what you might pay. But this is going to change from person to person, depending if you're going to live on campus or off campus, if you're living with partners, or if you have maybe you have children, whatever the case may be. But this is the standard budget for a student that they've calculated, and so you want to kind of factor that in in terms of your living costs. There are also resources on campus in which you can essentially we can work with you, or you can get some financial coaching or some assistance on how to establish a budget. Check out the Financial Wellness Center, and that's actually fairly new. And so it's an opportunity to kind of like work through some of these details. So check them out. And I'm kind of rushing slightly through this. There's a template that you can check out. And again, you'll have access to this. I believe you'll have access to this presentation, so you'll be able to access these links. So understanding your graduate financial support options and map out your resources. So are there ways to fund your education? So if you did receive funding from the department, and again, it's merit-based versus need-based, that is one way that you can fund your education, or you can get your education funded. There are grants that you can also get from the graduate division. So the graduate division they're kind of like the federal or state government of all graduate programs. And then you have like us, we're kind of like the city governments. So they also offer we call them grad div or graduate division. They have a wealth of resources. They also have an opportunity to get funding from them as well. So you want to check them out. Check out their website. They have a lot of different fellowships and scholarships and different awards. And the deadlines, they usually happen within fall, spring, and even now, summer. And they're available to you all as new admins. So check them out. There is also external fellowships beyond UC Berkeley. If you check out our website under admissions, and I believe there's cost and funding, you'll see a list of a whole bunch of fellowships that are specific to journalists. And then also they even get a little bit more into the weeds about like different tracks or specializations or backgrounds or levels of experience. So you want to check those out. And we try to update it as best as possible. A lot of those deadlines might have passed. I would say reach out to them anyways. Sometimes a lot of these fellowships or scholarships are little known and a lot of people don't apply. Sometimes students will reach out and they're like, oh yeah, nobody's applied to them. Like we have this money and it's waiting. So, or the deadline might have passed. They usually will make exceptions for it. So I say bug them anyway. Then there is also working on campus. You can work as an academic student employee. We probably have sent you materials or information about working on campus. And so that's working as either a graduate student instructor alongside a professor. And usually you'll be kind of supporting or TAing or assisting oversight of a class for undergraduates. So you want to check that out. The cool thing about these opportunities is that not only is it a way to kind of build your portfolio, and if you want to go into academia, you can, but also it's a way to fund your education because those positions come with fee remissions. It will pay for your semester, for that particular semester that you're working, the entirety of your tuition and fees, I think, except for the PDST, which is the professional development supplemental tuition. And that's for, it's like thinking about like 6 or 5K, and that's for being in a professional school. But it is a good way to kind of pay for the fees for that particular semester. And also it comes with a salary. So you want to be mindful of that. And these, you don't necessarily have to do it at the J School. We have very few positions at the J School as a graduate student instructor or even a tutor or a reader. But there are a lot across campus. And I really encourage a lot of the international students, to check them out because it's a way to kind of fund your education while you're here. And here's like one cool trick. I'm like, if you came from an undergrad or a different kind of program that you're like you're a subject matter expert in, go to that particular department here at UC Berkeley. Or if you're really adept at a particular language, go to that particular department and you'll be able to kind of teach undergraduates in that class. So check it out. I believe, Nelly, you're sending out those opportunities to folks? Yeah. So and these departments are often reaching out to us. They want you. They want journalists. And so we'll get like usually the English department or American Studies or I think we're partnering with a few of them this semester. But they usually will send us notices of job opportunities and then we push them out. And we're like, hey, they're looking for you all, so apply.
Yeah, I do say that I'm sending that to committed students. The reason being that most of these opportunities require that you have a Berkeley email and a CalNet ID to even apply. So you won't even have access to those forms until you are a Berkeley student. So that's why I say it's not to be exclusionary. It's because that's kind of the way it works here. And they won't even consider you if is what I've heard is that a lot of these faculties won't even, because it's like, okay, I'm an admitted student, so what? That doesn't mean anything unless you're committed, right? So just to clarify that, because I do want you to know that if I could send it and everyone could apply, then I would. But yeah, that's just the way it works here.
So all that to say is be sure to SIR, and then it'll increase your odds.
Exactly.
There's also, and I'm going to speed through this. I'm going to be mindful of time. So there's also making sure you fill out the FAFSA. I encourage everybody to fill out FAFSA if you can, and you're eligible to get federal loans. It is a means to an end. A lot of folks will use loans to kind of fund their education. But in order to receive it and be noticed by the financial aid office, you need to fill out that FAFSA. So be sure to do that. Even if you're not considering getting loans, I would say fill it out just in case. And there's other need-based funding awards that you can apply to. They're housed on campus, and again, we'll have a whole other workshop to talk about this. We'll go into weeds more, but I'm just giving you kind of like a nuanced view of it. There's emergency funds on campus. A lot of them are offered either by the we have a few opportunities where you can apply for funding, and there's also some at the Basic Needs Center, and there's also some at the financial aid office, and they're housed completely different from campus. They service everybody on campus.
Yeah, we'll have a webinar where don't worry, we'll delve into these things a lot more deeply, and we'll also share kind of more other opportunities where our students have found success outside of just academic student employment. So yeah, so just to let you know that there will be we'll have more sessions that delve specifically on graduate funding. So yeah, that's why Blaine is also just kind of covering this just to let you know those opportunities, but we'll follow up with more.
And then also federal and private loans. And some of you all might already have be entertaining this or using this to leverage to pay for your education. So you want to be mindful of those deadlines and dates. This is more about departmental funding opportunities. We had talked about the academic student employee positions. There's also merit-based and need-based financial assistance, et cetera, et cetera. And again, we talked a little bit about the academic student employment positions. There's a space on our website where you can actually see all the departments and the main points of contact. Normally, you want to reach out to the person either in my particular role, so kind of like a director of student services type position, or you want to reach out to the graduate student affairs officer. So it'll be Michael's particular role. And so usually they'll have that information available to you. So find our counterparts in that department, and then they'll usually share that with you or let you know if a position is open or what are the ways to apply. Yes, let's see. There's more opportunities at the J School. You can either be a student reporter at the investigative reporting program. There's also opportunities. Well, we do house, or I'll back up. We do have a few academic student employee positions. We do have a few tutors. I think we offer about 4 or 5 positions, and we also have like maybe 1 GSI, maybe 2. It depends. And those are usually for our summer minor. We have a journalism undergraduate summer minor. And so, yeah, be on the lookout for that. And see, there's Berkeley Advanced Media Institute. There's also freelancing, a way to fund your education. So you can do some publishing, web content, development. We have, like, again, the ASC positions. And then we also have J peers. So Katie and Fuad, they are service as ambassadors or J peers. And so they get like a small, a nominal stipend, a little stipend here or there to be able to do some support for the J School. And there's a few positions that are available through admissions, marketing, and check with us. We might be able to offer more. Just a note about the ASC positions in our department. You have to be the only way to be eligible, you have to be a second year. So that won't be available to you all just yet. Financial aid office, if you haven't reached out to them, please do so now. But they have a wealth of information and resources on their site, so check it out. And yeah, we have our own, a lot of information I shared, we have a guide. I believe we shared that, and it's also on the new admin website. That's the link. There's also information, again, on the graduate division website. Check them out. And there's also, let's see, a list of the external fellowships. So everything I mentioned, these are the links for them. We'll share this later. And there are a few more things coming up, what you can look forward to. There's going to be virtual office hours available to, if you have more questions just about the admissions process, or if you have more questions about school, or just your decision to commit, let us know. You can check out those virtual office hours. There is a budgeting workshop that I'll be talking more about some of the stuff I talked about today. Betsy's going to have her career development overview and webinar, TBD. We'll get you those dates ASAP. And also, I believe, are those dates accurate for Welcome Week? Welcome Week events for campus?
No.
No, not yet. Okay, so disregard these dates, but there are going to be more Welcome Week events and overviews and et cetera, et cetera. So Nelly will share those with you. And then also, I'll mention that the campus is having their own, so these are more customized for Berkeley journalism students like yourselves, but there are some for campus. So if you want to kind of break outside the Berkeley journalism bubble, you can get to know, some of your campus partners, your peers in other departments. They also host like a bunch of welcome workshops and things like that. And so we'll share those things with you. And some of them are virtual. I know a lot of you travel far, near and far in order to come here. So a lot of that stuff is accessible virtually.
Yeah, and all events are up on the admitted students page. So you go there, that's where all the events are. So that's the most up-to-date place. So I recommend always going there. That's going to be the most up-to-date location for everything. So yeah, and we'll have, Betsy will be doing her session next week. We'll have future funding specific sessions. Normally we'll do like a series. So some will cover kind of budgeting and delve a little deeper. Some will talk more about like, if like academic student employment is like really your bread and butter, then, we'll delve deeper. Fuad did do a pretty good job of already kind of talking about like tips and such, but he can do another session as well later on. So yeah.
So I'm going to skip the trivia part. I want to get to know the folks in the room, the folks virtually. So if you could just introduce, I'll start with the folks in the room. And if you can say your name, your track, or I'm sorry, your name, your pronoun, the track that you're interested in, and we'll just go down the line. So.
Hi, my name is Duha. I'm from Palestine. The track I'm interested in multimedia. Yeah, that's it.
Yes, I think that's it. Yeah, we're mindful of time, so it's gonna be a quick kind of roundtable.
My name is Ali. I'm from Point Arena, California, and I'm interested in the documentary track.
That's it.
Hi, I'm Mia. And then I'm interested in most.
Great.
Where are you from? Oh, SoCal.
Cool. Okay.
Hi, I'm Maddie. I use she, her pronouns. I'm interested in the narrative writing track, and I'm from Los Angeles.
Welcome.
Hi, I'm Catherine, so she, her pronouns, and I'm interested in narrative writing, and I live in Los Angeles. Hi, I'm Ricky. My pronouns are he, him. I'm interested in the documentary program. I'm originally from Michigan.
Thank you. Welcome.
I'm Anson, he, him, documentary track, and I'm from Southern California.
Got a lot of SoCal folks.
I know.
Yeah, I'm also from Los Angeles, so I love this. I'm loving this.
Hi, I'm Isabella. I use she, her pronouns. I'm not from I have been living in Vancouver, BC, but I'm originally from outside of Chicago, Illinois. And I'm interested in the multimedia track.
Welcome.
Hi everyone, my name is Suad, pronouns are she, her. Originally, I'm from West London, but I've been living in San Diego for the past 6 years. I'm interested in documentary or multimedia.
Hi guys, I'm Kira. My pronouns are she, her. I'm from like an hour from here, but I go to school in Santa Barbara, so I say I'm from Santa Barbara because that sounds cooler. And I'm interested in the narrative.
Right.
Hi, I'm Sophia. My pronouns are she, her. I'm from New York and I'm interested in the photojournalism.
Fabulous.
I'm Lily. My pronouns are she, her. I'm from upstate New York, but I'm living in Rhode Island right now. And I'm interested in the photojournalism track.
Cool.
Hi everyone, my name is Sui. I originally came from Shanghai, but I went to undergrad in Irvine. I came from Irvine, yes. I'm interested in narrative writing and my pronouns is she, her.
Great. Okay, thank you. And we're going to now move to the folks online. You probably don't know the order. So I'll start with, I think, Gabriella.
Hi everyone, my name is Gabriella. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm currently calling in from Long Beach, but I grew up in the Inland Empire.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And is it Jamie?
Yeah, my name is Jamie. I use she, her pronouns, and I am from Boise, Idaho. I'm interested in the audio recording track. And this is not Boise, by the way. This is a Delta airport, so it's a lot quieter out in Idaho.
Thank you. And is it Austin? I'll start with Austin.
Hi, yes, my name is Austin. I'm very interested in the narrative track and the photojournalism track, trying to figure out which, and I'm from the LA area, SoCal.
Great. And I cannot pronounce your first name, but it's Maeve.
Yeah, you got it. It's Maeve.
Okay.
I live in Brooklyn. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm interested in the audio track.
Thank you. And Olivia?
Yeah, hi, I'm Olivia. I am from Hawaii, but I live in the South Bay right now, and I use she, her pronouns. And I'm interested in the audio track as well.
So, and Lisa?
Hi, I'm Lisa Brewer, she, her. I'm originally from Whidbey Island, Washington, by way of the Oregon coast, interested in narrative track.
Welcome. And then, okay, I see a few folks in the chat. I see y'all. Monica, she said, or they said, secretly tuning in from work, can't chat, but I'm Monica. She, her pronouns from Virginia and interested in multimedia. Welcome. Let's see if there's anybody else. Sarah, Banapur. Okay, let's see. Says she, her pronouns. I was admitted to the concurrent MJ MPH. Oh, congratulations. And my focus is multimedia, and I'm from the Bay Area. Awesome. Nelzy. Oh, they headed out.
Nelsie was here yesterday.
Oh, okay, great. And then I also have Sharon. Hello, everyone. Joining from Nairobi, Kenya. Sorry, can't put my video on now and talk. It's late night. Oh, that's well. Thank you for tuning in. And my pronoun is she, her, and interested in multimedia track. Oh, we got some more folks. All right, we got Alex. She, her, pronouns. Alex Bledsoe. I'm in Los Angeles. Would love to get coffee, Betsy. Living between here and Oakland, California. I'm admitted to the documentary program. Welcome. Make sure I got everybody. I think there's a. Did I skip Rachel? Rachel. I don't have last name, unfortunately. She, her pronouns. I'm from Wisconsin. I'm calling from Connecticut, and I'm interested in the narrative writing track. All right, fantastic. And then I think I got everybody.
Yeah.
All right.
I know. That's a
We
lot.
did our roundtable. Well, again, welcome everybody. I'm really happy that you were able to entertain me. Oh, well, let's see. Hold on. Wendy. Let me get Wendy.
Hi everyone, sorry I'm driving. My part, I promise. I'm Wendy. I'm originally from Guatemala, but I am pretty much raised here in Oakland, California, and I am interested in multimedia, narrative, and investigative reporting.
Fabulous. And I hope you pulled over. This is not worth it. We can share this presentation virtually, but again, thank you all for coming, and I'm really excited that you all are. Well, we had the trivia. I don't know if you all had time to stay or you have to go.
Well, I was gonna do something in here.
Okay.
And then we'll wait for Katie to come to the campus tour.
All right.
She's supposed to be here shortly.
All right, so no trivia.
No time.
That's
but
okay.
Next time you can do it with your next webinar. That's what we'll do.
Study up. But no, again, thank you all for coming. And I know this is gonna be like the first step of your journey. Some of you all are still entertaining other options or considering.
No, just us.
A lot.
I don't want to hear it.
You have a lot of things that you're probably considering, a lot of factors we recognize as a big step and an important decision. So if you have questions, any ways that we can make that decision easier, let us know. But we're here for you, and I'm really excited to see you in person. I love doing these. I actually started here as a director of admissions, so this is like my favorite part of the program, getting to know you all and help you make the best decision for yourselves. But yeah, I think that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone.